What's up everyone, coming back with another video for the CR250 build. So today I'm going to be putting my wheels back together. In the last video you see me take my wheels apart and I take the bearings out. Didn't really work out as far as the hubs go. If you want to watch the video, I'll put a card up for it there. But I went ahead and just got some new hubs just because that would be easier. I could have fixed the old one on the rear hub, but it just seemed like an easier move to buy some new hubs. All right, so this is the setup I'm going to go with here. I got these hubs on eBay. I'll link them down in the description where I got them. I'm going to try something out here. I painted these spoke nipples. They're going to get hammered with dirt and stuff, but I went the base coat. I went self-etching primer, and then I did the metal cast anodized system, and I did 3 coats of clear coat on it. So hopefully that'll give me a little bit of protection. But I mean, the first couple of rides are going to tell what goes on and how tough the paint is. But with that said, I've already got the spokes all never seized on the threads. So I'm going to show you how to lace up a wheel. So you start out by putting your hub in the center of your rim, and the lettering that's stamped into your rim always goes with the disc side of the hub. So if your rim is on the bench where the lettering is on the upside, then the disc has to be up too. Otherwise, you'll know it if you screw it up, because your holes won't line up and you'll really start having a hard time getting the spokes in. So you want to start out by putting the spokes on the inside hole. So you got the inside holes and you got the outside holes on both sides. So inside, outside. So you start by putting the spokes in on the inner holes, and you want to make sure when you're putting them in that they're going in like a left direction pattern. You'll see when I start lacing it up, but that's how you want it to look, because the inside needs to go left and the outside needs to go right. So when I start lacing it up, you'll see what I mean. All right, so like I said, I'm going to start putting the spokes inside the inner holes here, and you want them to be going in a left pattern. So you'll see they're all kind of pointing in this direction, counterclockwise, I guess, or left. And when you put the outer spokes in, they'll all be going the other way. And the big thing with the Honda front wheels, I don't know if any other manufacturer does it, but these kind of, when you put the outer ones in, they cross over the spokes twice. So it's like a double cross pattern. All right, so now that you've got the first intersection done, now you need to make sure that they're gonna find the holes that you need them to. So this one here is gonna line up over in this hole. You'll find them right away because they basically just point straight at the spoke. And when you start lacing them up, the first intersection, when you get them all done, it'll go every fourth hole. So it'll be like 1, 2, 3, and then another spoke. 1, 2, 3, and then another spoke. So that's how they'll all kind of line up. So with that done, you'll want to put the spoke nipples on so that they kind of stay in there and they're not going to fall out on you. So just put them on a couple threads. Just lightly thread them on, just so they're not going to fall out of the hole on you. I find these spoke nipples really odd because they've got in the backs usually it's a hex head, but these ones are like a flat head design. Alright, so I got the first inner portion done. So now you move on to the outer portion. So those ones go in the opposite direction. So we'll start with this one here. Hopefully it'll pick it up. So this spoke is going to cross over this spoke and this spoke. So it's a dual cross type thing. And you want to make sure these spokes, or this spoke on the outer, is going outside of the inner spokes. And then it will go, they're going to go in the middle hole. So you've got your inner spokes that are 4 apart. So the outer spoke is going to go in the center. So you got 1, 2, 3, like right in the middle. That one's going to go to the center one. Just trying to be very careful because Never Sees makes a giant mess, but it really helps if you want to ever adjust the spokes or take them off. Never Sees really helps. All right, now that you got all those put in, now you can put the spoke nipples on. When you use the Never Sees, you're gonna have a little bit of cleaning to do when you're done. Like I said, you just want to barely thread it on, just so it holds the spoke in. Okay, so now that one side's done here, I'm gonna flip it over and repeat the exact same process on the other side. So I'm probably just gonna time lapse that. So now that it's all laced up here, I'm gonna tighten the spoke nipples in until there's about 2 threads remaining, and that's really gonna help me when I do the truing process. All right, got her looking good now. So now that this is all pretty well laced up and good to go, I'm gonna put it onto the shaft and the vise here, and I'm gonna true the wheel. So now that I got it all in the vise here, so what I'll do now is I'm gonna start tightening in the backs of the nipples until they're just nice and snug. And the way you want to do this is nice and evenly. So I mark off the hole for the lock or tube, whatever you put in there. But I'll make sure that this is the hole I'm going by, and you tighten every third one. So you go tighten this one, and then go 1, 2, and then tighten that one, and then 1, 2, and then tighten that one. So you do one revolution of that, and then you come back, and then you start from the second one. So you tighten the second one, and then 1, 2, and then tighten that one, and then 1, 2, and then tighten that one. And when you do that revolution on the third one, you go to the third spoke from the hole you're starting at, and you go tighten, 1, 2, tighten, 1, 2, tighten, like that, and you'll do 3 revolutions like that. So I got it all kind of tightened up there, sort of evenly. It's really, right here, as you can see, it's pretty well straight. And then if you spin it, it starts pulling to the right. You see that? See, it starts pulling to the right. So that means that you need to take these outer spokes and you need to tighten them in to bring the rim that way. And with the up and down, what you'll need to do is if it's got a big bump in it, you'll have to find the bump and you'll have to tighten all the spokes a little bit. So it looks pretty good now. It's spinning nice and true. So I'm gonna go around now and just make sure all these are torqued to a minimum of 36 inch-pounds. So I'm gonna be using this Tusk spoke torque wrench. So you wanna set it to, if you do get one of these, I'll link it down below where I got it from. If you do use one of these, set it to 36 inch-pounds, and that translates to 3 foot-pounds. So this rotor that I'm putting on is it's a Tusk Typhoon rotor. So you want to put the lettering outward. They're usually directional, but like I would assume that there would be no reason for them to put the lettering in, then you couldn't see it. So put the lettering out, and then that should be good to install after that. Okay, so we'll call the front wheel done here now. This thing looks amazing, in my opinion. So I can't wait to get the tire on it and see what it looks like and put it on the bike. Okay, so now that I got the front wheel done, it's time to move on to the back wheel. There's a couple key differences on the back wheel, so I'll show you what that is right now. So with the rear spokes, you're gonna have 2 different lengths. So the inner ones are gonna be the longer, and the outer ones are going to be a little bit shorter. So just keep that in mind when you're lacing these up, to keep your spokes separated. This is a Tusk kit. It comes with a bag marked B and A, but I just marked with a marker inner and outer so that I know exactly which bag to pull out of. On these ones here, the lettering is going to go with the disc side, the brake disc side. So a little edit is the lettering on the rim has to go on the sprocket side, not the hub side. Alright, so it's the same thing as the front rims. So you start with all your inner holes, and they will run this way, and then you put in the outer spokes and they'll run the opposite direction. So I got the rear wheel all laced up here, so now I'm going to do the same thing as I did on the front and just tighten the spoke nipples in until there's about 2 threads showing on the spoke there. Alright, I got the rim on my little makeshift truing stand here. Again, you know, you find a mark like this hole, and then you start with the first one and tighten it until it's snug, and then skip 2, and then tighten that one until it's snug, and then skip 2 and tighten that one until it's snug, all the way around 3 times. So the second revolution, you're going to start, say this is your hole and you start it here. Revolution 2, you start here and then skip 2 and then tighten. And then the third revolution around, you start here, you skip 2 and then tighten. You just keep doing that all the way around. So what I'm doing here now is I found a spot. I put the hub on the bench for the sprocket side down, and I measured this distance from the edge of this to the bench at 2 inches. So I marked that with an X. So now when you know that's going to be the proper gap, which is about 2 inches from this surface to there. So pretty much the bench to there. So then you spin it and you see what it does. So if it goes in, the rim has to be pulled out. If the rim goes out, it's got to be pulled back in. So you see, did 1 revolution, and it pretty well pulls in towards the hub, or towards the sprocket side. So what I'm doing is just slowly going around, and it's got to be pulled that way, away from the sprocket side. So on this side, these spokes on this hub need to be tightened, and some of these need to be loosened so that you can pull the rim this way. So I've got the wheel trued up here, about as good as I'm going to get it, because this rim is a tiny bit bent. Not bad, but it's got a couple squishes in it. So I'll just see if I can zoom in here. There's not much variance over there from where my marker is sitting. So it goes in a little tiny bit and it comes out. Definitely within that 2mm spec, but it just kind of closes the gap quickly. You see that bump go by. So that's a dent. So there's not much you can do about that. When you true these old rims, it's really hard to do. So the up and down variance is pretty good there too. It goes out a little bit, but I think this, again, this rim is not in perfect condition, so these are really hard to true when you put them back on. But I think that'll work fine. I'll find out when I'm on the bike riding it, but I think that's going to be okay. So I did get these rims powder coated in town here, so I went with the just a semi-gloss black. I think it looks pretty good. So for the back wheel, I also went with the Tusk Typhoon rotor, so I'm going to put that on right now. So now I'm going to mount on the sprocket. So I went with a primary drive aluminum sprocket. And for mounting hardware, I got some black bolts. So I think the color combo will go pretty good together. So that's about it for this video, guys. I got the wheels all done. I think they're gonna look just awesome on the bike, so I can't wait to get the tires mounted up and start getting my engine put back together. I gotta clean the cases up and shine them up a little bit, and then I can start putting the engine back together. So if you guys want to see that part of the build, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you have, thank you very much, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.